Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. What is up, everyone? My name is Arif, and this is your Daily Chat Season 5, Episode 11 for February the 12th, 2020. I say this so often, but it's crazy how fast time goes by. Absolutely bonkers. We're almost halfway through the month. I don't even remember when February started. I don't remember anything at all. I had to look through my phone today to remember when I had particular calls because it feels like forever ago, and it was literally last week. But yeah, guys, it is already February 12th. We are already flying through, and of course, the news today, it's been a mixed bag. Nothing extremely great. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get right started. As always, you can always talk live in the chat channels on Twitch TV and mixer.com/LRX2015. And if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit your subscribe button and leave a comment below, and I'll get to it in the next episode. But while we're here, let's get it kicking and let's get started. So Blizzard has pulled out of GeForce Now. Giggity. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Nvidia has launched a... how do I put this? They've launched a cloud streaming platform, but it's not a platform in like Google Stadia where you have to buy the games through Stadia, and like Stadia owns it, and et cetera, et cetera. Instead, this is a service that is kind of like a Reddit for gaming. So instead of what you do is you go to like battle.net and you buy your game, and then you can play it on GeForce Now and stream it through there. So through the beta, we had all these companies and games, like we had a Capcom and Blizzard and a bunch of others. And today we got news that now that GeForce is live, it's out of beta testing, Blizzard has pulled out. And this was left here by Corey from Nividia. As we take GeForce Now to the next step in its evolution, we've worked with the publishers to onboard the robust catalog, and this means that continually adding new games, and on occasion we have to remove games. Per the request, please be advised that Blizzard Activision games will be removed from the service, and while unfortunate, we hope that Blizzard Activision will re-enable in the future, etc., blah, 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 blah. Now, this would suck. This would absolutely suck if it wasn't for the fact that you do own the game on Battle.net. You can play it on Battle.net still. You didn't do a sunk cost of just buying a game and letting it rot once the service got taken away. What is up, Mr. Green? Where have I been? I've been here, man. I did the whole Twitch was getting AWS certified, and then I've been just doing jobs, man. Jobs. That's all I've been doing the last little bit. He's been eating cookies. I've been doing a lot of things, and it's been crazy how many things I have been doing, because I can show you guys right now, like, I have been doing jobs, like, well, it's been my actual job. Like, this is still in January of 2020 that I'm scrolling through right now, and down here is January 1st. So, yeah, this is all I've been doing, man. That's where I've been. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, man. And you'd think, like, hey, stream more. Believe it or not, man, it's tiring. Even as I was rolling the pre-show today, I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I kind of just want to like kill it and call it a day and go back to bed. But it's like, no, stop being fat, less fat, more active. So we're here today. We're looking through the stuff, man. But how you been? Staying busy is a good thing. Get that paper. Yeah, man, absolutely, always, every single day. But yeah, man, what's been new with you? What you been up to? And yeah, so when it comes back to this Blizzard thing, look, it sucks. But this is kind of the problem we have with Netflix right now, is the fact that every other company sees the pie and they're trying to get a slice of it. No one is going to pay for like 20 subscription services, whether that be for video or games. I don't know what Blizzard's hoping for here. They should just really add it back and call it a day. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's just my opinion. I think it was a very stupid move on Blizzard's part just to pull out. Oh boy. So yeah, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about from earlier on, I have to do a bunch of like certifications and training for my professional development. And as such, I figured, why suffer alone when I can make Twitch suffer with me? And to that end, I've been doing my certification trainings on Twitch, AWS, and next one up is going to be Google Analytics. Look, it's funny because when we did the AWS training certification, my God, was it ever bad? For those of you who were here for Twitch Gets AWS certified streams, where we streamed the training modules, good God, I don't think I've ever seen a multi-billion-dollar company produce more horrible content in my entire life. GeForce Now is probably the best business model for this kind of thing. Yeah, it absolutely is, Raven. 100%. It's 100% the best business model. And I talked to AWS. I talked to them in my DMs during the whole training session. And I'm sure many people I see right now in the chat, those lurking, those active, I can see in the chat, some people were here for him, and they can stand up and attest to this. The quality control at Amazon AWS is so bad that I think it was ran by an intern, but like an intern who had other things to do and just literally took it off the camera, threw in a little bit of editing, and then slammed it out the door. Like, it was one of the most cringe fest things I've ever done as a streamer. I don't know if I even could. That's why I'm actually kind of hesitant to do the Google Analytics one, because it was just like, oh my God. I remember having the conversation with you about it. Yep, exactly. Now, I'll admit, like, it wasn't as good of a response as I was hoping for when I did the whole Twitch Gets AWS certified. But albeit to most of that end, that was kind of my fault for taking a two week streaming break again versus like just streaming the last module. So that one is kind of on me. I will accept that. But at the same time, though, it was very painful to sit through. See, the nice thing about being the viewer is the fact that you get so many options and choices to just, go watch whoever you want. And I get that. But being the broadcaster on my end is like, I committed, I'm like, I want to do this particular thing. I want to try this. And being the good entrepreneur is you have to kind of see it through to the end. You can't just like, well, this isn't working like right away, like, up and out. You have to try it out and let it run its course. And when you do that, oof, you really put yourself in a painful spot some days. It is legit really hard to sit through. And I sat through 6 hours of AWS training with the worst presenters, with the worst video editors possibly in existence. Have you ever been spanked with a wooden back scratcher? Yeah. No, not a back scratcher. I used to get hit with a wooden spoon, like a wooden cooking spoon. What you see in like poor people countries like Asia and India. I got hit with one of those several times. And then I remember I busted up one because I just got so mad. But yeah, I've been hit with a wooden spoon, and it does suck. It absolutely sucks. So there is that. This article came out on Monday. Hey, you guys feel free to keep talking. I'll alley-oop back into the chat and answer the questions after this next article. Let's get into the next one here. BioWare announces it's gonna radically fix Anthem. Anthem 2.0. No. Anthem, for those of you that don't know, is the BioWare game that came out last February. It was supposed to be the new live services game that BioWare was trying to get a part of. And, like a spectacular failure. They had no idea what they were doing. And I'm not even being facetious. They had no idea what the game was going to be about, like, until like the 11th hour. And as such, the game came out with no direction, with no loot progression, with no redeemable things or features or loop about it. And it hemorrhaged. It hemorrhaged so good. Oh my God. Oh, the hemorrhaging of the player base. The hemorrhaging of just everything. It was like, oh, Daddy. So good. And now BioWare, I guess, realizing that they're on the precipice of complete failure of this title, has released this announcement on Monday saying, "We have also heard your feedback that Anthem needs a more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression, more fulfilling endgame. So we recognize that there is still a fundamental work to be done to bring out the full potential of the experience and will require more substantial reinvention than the update or expansion. Over the coming months, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges and progression, and meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun flying and fighting in vast science fantasy setting. And to do that properly, we'll be doing something that we'd like to have done for the first time around, giving a focused team the time to test and iterate, and focusing on the gameplay." Yeah. When you design games, shockingly enough, focusing on the gameplay should almost be the number one priority. But no, Anthem was a failure because, once again, like I said, it was supposed to be a live service, and they had the roadmap and all the little microtransactions, and they had all the little things, that are supposed to, like, quote unquote, make you mad money as a company. But the problem is, though, the companies that do make that mad money, they have a gameplay loop that works first, and then the shop comes in second. It's make a game that's fun, and then dissect it out and make it sellable to the person. Does that make sense? Right? So when they came out with Anthem, and it was clearly an unfinished, untested, just absolute disaster of a title, this was only a matter of time. This statement should have come out back in September, maybe October, November at a push, but definitely not February, a year later. A year later is just really, really tone deaf of the fact that you refuse to see the writing on the wall. You refuse to hear the community that complained to you. And for the very small player base that still plays this game, which are, I can only imagine, the downiest group of downs you've ever down seen. Like, those people are living in the sunk cost fallacy to the upteenth level. This is just, it's, once again, just something they should have done ages ago. I guess better late than never. I don't know how much longer BioWare has to keep going with this kind of thing. Now, it might not be BioWare. I could be completely wrong. It might be their corporate overlord, whoever owns them, the one tier up. It could be them directing this. I'm not sure who's at fault. All I know is someone is at fault. Does that make sense with the rest of chat? If you guys have played Anthem, let me know. Maybe, hang on, let's get back up to the chat here. Maybe I'm crazy, but I bet they could have looked at the well-established gaming industry and followed the process of great games. Yeah, right? You would think that the live services game model is not new. We have had established live services games forever and a day now. Maybe in different iterations, but we've had them forever since, from what I remember, Ultima Online being the first live service game that I had ever heard of. And the fact that they don't heed the warning, and this comes down to the same people that, like, Epic Game Store, how it doesn't have very particular features despite the fact Steam has been around for 15 years. And you just tell them, it's like the blueprints are there, they're publicly available. You just have to pick it up and read it. And these companies refuse to do that. So they kind of bring the failure onto themselves. And while some companies have really managed to fix the games from this very broken state to this very polished live services state, like No Man's Sky, like The Division. The Division, that one kind of touched and goed on it. But definitely No Man's Sky came out with the big new patch that brought the game up to a level that they had promised before. Final Fantasy Reborn, or Realm Reborn, did the exact same thing. But other games have really failed. Evolve is a good example. Evolve tried to go to Evolve Stage 2 and make it a free-to-play game and change a whole bunch of the microtransactions, and it did not fly. It failed hard. And I would be lying if I said I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see Anthem go the same way. I kind of want Anthem to fail. I want Anthem to fail so the rest of the industry can see the message, can see the writing on the wall that you can't ignore your customers. While money is absolutely paramount of importance as a company, you have to taper that against the reality that your customers still want a product that works. You can't just kick something out the door. Customers now are too savvy. Social media and digital content creation have made it so customers can talk to each other on a very wide scale. And yes, you can't pull the wool over people's eyes like that anymore. That game doesn't really fly. Somebody will be there to call you out. Now, whether the populace chooses to believe in it or not is a different story, but you can't really do that anymore. And in our final story today, let's get this. Before I get to the final story, chat, what do you guys have to say about any of this at all? Leave it in the live chat below. And let's get into the final article of today. Jeff Keighley will not participate in E3 2020. This is a big thing to unpack, least of which is actually Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley, for those of you who don't know who this guy is, he's the man who hosts, I guess owns, the Video Game Awards. He does a lot of public presentation and a lot of live hosting. And he's a very prominent name in the gaming industry community. Okay? Now, Keighley has been a host of E3 Coliseum forever and a day. He's like the go-to guy. He's the face that everyone recognizes. And he announced today that, yes, he's not gonna be participating at E3 this coming year. He won't be hosting the E3 Coliseum. He won't be doing any of that. And it's like, it's only, that's actually my fault. I'm going to have Jeff in a gimp suit in my dungeon one day. Hey, you do you, Winter. You do you. But this is only, the thing is about this is Jeff is the least important part of this statement about Jeff Keighley not participating in E3, because this is another nail in the coffin of E3. And while that rhetoric is just normally just thrown about all willy-nilly in a lot of cases, we're watching the nails get put in. We're watching it happen in real time. Sony pulled out. Nintendo pulled out first. Then Sony. Jeff Keighley. We had the E3 reporter leak last year. I think it was last year. Where all the reporters got doxxed and all their information, addresses, phone numbers got released out. We have been watching the nails get pounded in time and time again. And that coffin, man, that coffin's running out of space. You know, we have Microsoft be like, we're here. Like, you know, oh, come see us. But when it's only one vendor, one major vendor, and then you have a few of the other studios like Square Enix and Epic and Ubisoft, but it's only a matter of time until they pull out too. This E3, man, if you are a big E3 fan and you hold it close to your heart, well, you better get your last goodbyes in, because this hooker's about to go on life support. In a few years after that, we're gonna pull the plug altogether. Like, it is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. E3 is on its way out. We have the Video Game Awards. We have PAX, East, West, South, North, Middle, Internal, External, Outer Space, and Suborbit. So we have all the PAXs, and then we have the Tokyo Game Show. We have, what else do we have? We have CES. we have enough media focused conventions right now that, guess what? We don't need E3 anymore. E3 is a relic of the past. E3 is dead in the water. And with Jeff gone, man, I never really have been a big fan of Jeff. I don't really watch his content. I know of him because it's part of my job. But in reality, I don't really know that much about Jeff Keighley. I know who he is. And I'm not surprised to see this, but it is kind of sad that Jeff Keighley is adding to the death nails of E3. But E3, once again, brought it on themselves by not trying to stay relevant, by not trying to conform with the times. And they even said this year that they were going to focus more on an influencer perspective. So I feel like this year's E3 is going to be a little bit more cringe than most other years. It really does feel like it's going to go that way. I guess we can only wait and see. We're only 4 months away from E3 2020. So get your calendars ready, get your popcorn in your bin, and we're going to be watching the train wreck happen in real time. So guys, there you have it. That is today's daily chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you're watching this on Twitch or on Mixer, make sure you hit those follow buttons. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Guys, I've been Arif. This has been Daily Chat Season 5, Episode 11, and I'll see all of you on the next episode. Have a good night. Bye.